I just realized my wife doesn't love me. Today I came to the realization that my wife doesn't love me. She said she does, but her actions over the years show that she doesn't. She loves the life that I have given her, but not necessarily me. My wife is a lovely person, whom I adore and treat like a queen. She had been working up until about 3 years ago when she was diagnosed with the disease. She would at times help with household chores when we were first married, but doesn't help with any daily housekeeping. She doesn't clean, vacuum, wash clothes, do yard work. She pretty much just does the dishes and that's it. She doesn't make much money now that she is on disability. She contributes little monetarily. The amount she contributes basically covers her cell phone bill and cable TV bill. I pay everything else each month. She does treatments every night but goes to bed around 2 a.m. and wakes up anywhere between noon and 1. There were many times where she wouldn't do anything for my birthday or Father's Day. I am a giver and shower her with nice gifts for special occasions, and gifts just because I love her. I mean, I'm talking Louis Vuitton purses, bags, diamonds, and nice shoes. Sex is non-existent, and I've always had to initiate it. The thing that really has been in the back of my mind is something that happened last year. Last August, I had a heart attack. I was feeling bad when I went to bed and woke up at 4 a.m. with really bad chest pain. I went downstairs to find the blood pressure cap to see what was going on. It was really high. I started sweating, had a hard time breathing, and sick to my stomach. I sat down for a few minutes, I looked up signs of a heart attack, and I had them all. I drank some water and felt a tiny bit better. I decided to drive to the hospital. I know it was stupid, but it's a fairly straight shot, and it was early in the morning. I got to the hospital, and they fast-tracked me through and started running tests. My wife woke up at 11 and noticed I wasn't home and tracked me. She texted me, and I told her I was in the ER, and they thought I had a heart attack, and I had all of the markers. She came to pick up the car and dropped off a couple of things. She then left and went to dinner with her friend. The next day, I'm still in the hospital, and I was hurt she went to dinner when I'm in the ER. I told her not to come up, and well, she didn't. She only came up to pick me up to go home. She's been in the hospital about 6 or 7 times. I would visit her every day when she was in the hospital. I would bring her flowers and treats. I would wait in the ER every time to keep her company. I only missed one day, and that was because she was supposed to be released, and I was waiting till she was sprung. This has been sitting on me for the last year. It's not getting better. We had a fight that I instigated today. I told her how hurt I was, and she said my feelings always get hurt. I asked her if her mother, sister, or grandfather was in the ER with a heart attack, would she go back home to be with them, and she said yes. After that, I knew she wasn't in love with me, just loves what I give her. She doesn't understand that she isn't giving any back in return. She is like a roommate at this point. A roommate that doesn't pay rent or help take care of the house or do much of anything to make my life better.
This is how I missed my flights to my wedding halfway across the world. If you're new here, I just got married last month, October 1st, to my now husband who is Indian. And so we're also having an Indian wedding, like 4-day long celebration. And I'm supposed to be there right now. It's currently Wednesday morning. Yesterday was our flight at 7:05 p.m. I did not get on it, but my husband did. Tuesday, so the day before we were supposed to be leaving, I was checking into our flight, which was through the Delta app, and a notice popped up saying, like, we're gonna check your travel documents once you get there. And I've traveled a decent amount. Like, you guys know I went to Paris earlier this year. We're going on our honeymoon next year to Europe. Like, we've done a lot of traveling. I have not been to Asia, however, and yeah, my entire like immediate family is going, my sisters, my parents, and then it's Yusuf and myself. And we had talked about visas a long time ago, whether or not we needed them. For some reason, we all came to the agreement that we did it. I don't know where there was a miscommunication. I don't know what happened, but we all just were like, okay, nope, we're good. We thought we figured it out and looked it up, and clearly we didn't. So I'm panic texting my family group chat being like, what the heck, do we need visas? Yusuf's like, no, I don't think you do. And I look it up. We do need visas. And not only do we need visas, we're supposed to apply at least 4 days in advance of our trip. And we're leaving in 24 hours when I found this out. My parents call me, we're all panicking, and they're like, just come over, we're gonna figure it out. So I go over to my parents' house. We're all trying to figure out what we can do, whether we need to change our flight, whether we can get a visa in time. We end up finding this website that supposedly guarantees visas within 30 hours. We all apply for this visa. Granted, Yusuf doesn't need to, so it's just my sisters and my parents and I. Yusuf's an Indian citizen. I also realized that there's a chance that we could be stranded in Amsterdam if we don't end up getting the visa in time, because obviously we won't be able to go to India. We didn't even know if we'd be able to board like our first flight to Amsterdam. Now there's 5 of us calling Delta representatives, trying to see if we can change our flight, trying to see how much it would be to change our flight, because it's so last minute, and you know, international, giant, like massive flights like these are crazy expensive, so changing it, we were like, we're gonna be paying, you know, 5 to 10K just to be able to change this flight. Not to mention the visa itself and getting it expedited was $300. We ended up all successfully changing our flights, except we run out of seats on the first flight, so my dad ends up having to book a different flight. So he's now traveling through London. The rest of us are on the exact same flight just a day later, which is tonight. At this point, we don't even know if we're gonna get our visas in time, if we're gonna be able to make our newly scheduled flight. We did decide that Yusuf might as well fly out anyway, so it's one less flight to change and he can spend an extra day with his family in India. Keep in mind, we're going there for a wedding, my wedding. So this isn't just like an ordinary trip that we're like, yeah, this sucks, but whatever. Like everything has been so planned to the T, to the day. His mom has put in so much work to make sure everything, like we have an amazing time. She's booked tours and all these dancing lessons and things like that. So this was just not an ideal situation. That's kind of where we left that night. That was just about 36 hours ago. As of yesterday morning, we woke up and one of my sisters got her visa and the rest of us had nothing. So we were still like, great. The website that we used to get them had like an estimated amount of time before we were supposed to be receiving our visas, but we were like, who knows how reliable that is. Dropped Yusuf off at the airport last night, said goodbye. He has been stressed this entire time because he was like, are you gonna get there? Like, am I gonna be able to see you there? Are we gonna have our wedding there? It's like 9:30 last night. His mom and I are texting. She's asking how things are going, if I have an update, you know, what the status is. She asks for my visa application number and I send it to her and she was like, all right, let me see what I can do. The moment I send my application number, I get a notification that my visa was approved. She said she was talking to an agent to see if they could help. I don't know if she ended up actually talking to someone before I got mine approved, or it was just like crazy coincidence, but I got my visa. Not only did I get my visa, but within like 10 minutes, my other sister and my mom also got hers, and then we were just waiting on my dad's. What do you know? What, 5 minutes later, my dad says he also got his. I didn't believe him. I was like, send me proof, because I didn't know if he was just trying to like ease our stress, but he did get it. So this is your reminder to not be stupid and to actually check if you need a visa wherever you're going, and not just for some reason assume that you don't, and then you end up missing your flight to your wedding.
Am I the arsehole for not wanting to pay my mother-in-law for a gift that I didn't ask for? So one day I came over and my mother-in-law was round and she told me that she had bought me a new coffee machine. I don't know why. I didn't ask for one. And the one I have is still working absolutely fine. But listen, I thought, hey, new coffee machine, I won't turn it down. We sat for a few hours, we had a coffee from the coffee machine, and then when she was leaving, she was like, oh, just one thing. She told me that I needed to pay her the extra £30 for the coffee machine. I was like, Sandra, I'm not really too sure what you're talking about there. She was like, well, I really only planned to get you a gift that cost £50, so because I spent £30 extra, you should really pay that. Sandra is truly a girl math queen. Now, I don't know about you, but this confused me a little bit. If she had planned on only spending £50 and the cheapest coffee machine she could find was £80, why didn't she just get me something that cost £50? Because I'd like to remind everybody, I didn't want a coffee machine. She was saying how she didn't really care if she paid more and it was really about me being happy. But babe, like, you do care because you're now asking me for money. She was like, oh, you know, it's just a matter of principle, really. She was like, really, if you had any manners, you would just pay me instead of arguing with me. She then left quite swiftly. She later texted my husband and was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm still waiting for that 30 quid that she's not sent. She told him that if I didn't pay her, she would take back the coffee machine. So I told Steve to tell his mother that she can come and collect it. Because nowhere am I giving someone 30 quid for a present that I didn't want. My husband is not okay with the coffee machine being taken back. Just wait till you hear why. My husband says that he doesn't want it to go back because he has become attached to the coffee machine. Well, I suggest you unattach yourself, Steve. And I was like, okay, babe, well, if you want to keep the coffee machine, you can pay the 30 quid. He then starts telling me that I am making this harder than it needs to be. And now I'm having a really hard time seeing how I'm in the wrong here. So please do let me know if I've missed something. Can I just give his mum the 30 quid like she's asked and be done with it?
Time because I have two of my friends who are literally fighting right now for no reason, literally no fucking reason. They're literally fighting. And the only reason I'm saying this is because one of them was like, literally millions of people would literally agree with me, and I was like, okay, girl, let's see if that's true. And she was okay. So first of all, they went out, right? And one of them was telling the other one to leave her boyfriend, and I'm like, why? What happened? They said because they went out and because the boyfriend left my other friend alone. I was like, well, why did she leave her alone? Like, ¿por qué se fue? And she was like, well, she didn't want to tell me my other friend. She was just explaining her part, which I get, the one with not the boyfriend. And she was like, dude, he left her. Like, the way she explained to me, she was like, dude, he left her. He didn't care about her. He just left her there. Da 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 da. And I was like, well, why? What's going on? I forgot to add, he left her at the club. That's when she was like, oh, he just left her there. He didn't care. And the reason is because they all went out. I guess they all went out together. I'm assuming that's like the story that I'm getting at, because everyone's story is like wish-washy. And she was saying that he just left her, nomás la dejó ahí. Basically, she was telling me in Spanish, but like basically that he left her there. And I was like, well, why? What happened? So then the one with the fucking boyfriend tells me, dude, he left because I was drunk. And me and our other friend that we have, obviously the other friend, that one that's she's mad at, was they were screaming. And do you guys know that song? Chingas a tu madre. There was just songs that were coming out that was basically saying like fuck you. So she said he left because they were screaming from the top of their lungs. And another friend that was there, she was like, no, it was bad. So it makes sense why the fuck he left. And I told my other friend, dude, do you really think she should leave him just because? And she was like, well, dude, you don't leave her. Like, and I get it. But my other friend has never liked her boyfriend. Like, they've never just gotten along. Never. And the reason for that is because my friend with the boyfriend her boyfriend says that because every time he's with her, she acts up. And she knows it herself. It's true. She does a little bit. But, like, what else do we do when we're with our girls? Like, you know? So I understand everyone's point. And I get it, everyone's story. I don't think she should break up with him. Oh, and then hold up. So after the club, since my other friend was mad that her mans had left her, she was like, dude, let's go like mess up his truck. Of course, toxic guys. I'm sorry to say, all my friends are like this. Like, it's not just me. And like when, I don't know, it's just around us. I don't know what it is with us. She's like, I'm so mad that he left me. He's probably with another girl, even though she has his location, even though she called his mom already. And the mom said, no, aquí está en la casa. Like, he's there at the house. He's fine. She still said that he was with a girl. So my other friend, obviously, she doesn't like her man. So she's like, yeah, my friend, vamos, vamos, vamos. And so thankfully, when they got there, her boyfriend was outside. So when they get there, I guess all of them get off the truck. Mind you, this is different people telling me the story, so I know bits and pieces, but they still want me to like, they just basically want me to say who's right. I honestly don't know what to say because nobody's wrong. I think they're just literally tripping on each other for no reason. I think they just, in the moment, my friend's gonna agree with my other friend because she don't like her boyfriend, so she's gonna say yeah to everything. And obviously she's saying leave him because he left you there. That's wrong. She's like, even though we were fighting, he should have never left her there. But if they were embarrassing him, I get it. Guys, then it's not that serious. Literally, they're just joking around. It's not that serious, but it's just something that I don't know what to tell them. Like, I don't know who's right and who's wrong. Hey guys, just to wrap it up, basically, so my friend's man's mad because they were gonna do something to his truck and because they were acting up. He's like, I know that's normal, I know that's them. And the point is, he accepts that she's crazy, like the friend, and she understands that she doesn't like it. But he's like, but my truck, like, neta, he was like, really? Like, what the fuck my truck gotta do with this? And my friend that doesn't like the boyfriend of my other friend, she's just like, dude, she shouldn't be with him. And honestly, my friend, we all know this, she knows this too, that she's just mad because she doesn't want her with, like, they were just unstoppable when they were together. Obviously, we all have that one friend that you're just, when y'all are both single, you guys are just fucking crazy. Not that she wants her to understand that she's not gonna leave him, but that she's still gonna be her best friend. She's like, I don't care if she gets mad, we're still gonna be friends, but I'm not gonna leave him just por eso. And then she does it, by the way, guys, she does acknowledge, she's like, yeah, I get a little crazy. But she doesn't know what to say. She's like, I don't know what to say. Like, every time I'm with her, well, obviously it's her best friend for life, they've known each other for years. She's like, I just get a little wild. She's like, but maybe I should not get that wild. She's just working on that, guys. She knows it. Like, she's aware of it.
Here are some red flags that I ignored while dating losers. They had no friends. I don't know why I didn't deep dive a little bit more into that while dating them. I would say majority of the men I dated had no friends. And I never thought anything of that at the time. But looking back, I'm like, that's really fucking weird. And if they did have friends, I never met them. It was never like I was going out and we were like hanging out at the bar together. Like, it's not like they were hanging out with them either. Like, they literally just had no fucking friends. And I don't know why I didn't find that weird. Like, I don't know why I was never never like, huh, like he's not going out or hanging out with friends. Like, and now I do. And now I'm like, why the fuck did I not find that bizarre? Next one is going to piss a lot of people off. Age gap relationships. Listen, I had a really long time where I was like strictly dating 32-year-olds. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. I just really loved myself, a 32-year-old. I don't know why. I have two views on this. Number one, I think it's a red flag when I'm dating someone who's 10 years older than me and they still don't have their shit together. That was my biggest issue with the 32-year-olds. I felt like they took out a lot of their insecurities on where they were in their life on me. Like, I just felt like they were really fucking insecure. And it's like, you have to wonder, it's like, why are the 32-year-olds, like, why are you dating 10 years younger? Like, why aren't you dating somebody your age? Like, I genuinely have to think that. Also, like, why are you 32 and have never been in a serious relationship? Like, these are things that you need to take into account. And then I start dating them. I'm like, oh, I know exactly why you haven't been in a real fucking relationship, because you're an idiot. Favorite is when the 32-year-olds get mad. They're like, you're acting immature. It's like, babe, I'm 24. Like, I am immature. Like, I'm 24 fucking years old. If you're gonna date 10 years below your age, expect that. Expect me to be fucking immature. 32-year-olds also love to give me like speeches and like wisdom, and then I would be like, no, I'm not going to take that, because like I look at where you are in your life and I don't like it. So like, why would I take your wisdom? And honest to God, I do think dating older is fine if they have their shit together. If they're a 32-year-old who doesn't have their shit together, they're going to project all their insecurities onto you. But if they're a 32-year-old who like knows what the fuck they're doing, they're going to be like, fine. Another red flag, when they don't show you their apartment. Like, there are several men I've dated who like never let me see their apartment. Like, you can come over whenever you want. Like, I just like your apartment more. I'm like, I live in like a little box. I live in New York fucking City. I live in a box. The only thing here is my fucking bed, bitch. Like, there is no way. I don't even have a couch. Like, there is no way you're saying you like my apartment better. Like, you're lying. You're literally lying. But I feel like if they're not letting you see their apartment and they're always coming to yours, I'm not gonna say positive things. I feel like they're hiding a bitch at theirs. Like, they probably are fucking married or some shit. Actually, probably not. Or they're just like embarrassed. I don't know. It's just overall red flag. They're just like red fucking flag. This next one is so fucking embarrassing, and all my friends still make fun of me to this day for letting this one slide. My ex told me he did finance on the side. Like, his side hustle was a full-time job in finance. My dumbass was like, oh my God, slay. Like, that's so amazing. Like, I don't know fucking shit about corporate America. I was never in corporate America. But like, why the fuck would I think $100,000 salary is just like a side hustle? Like, in what fucking world is that a thing? My dumbass is like, slay, babe. Like, you go do the damn thing. And then all my friends who are corporate baddies are like, Livy, finance on the side is not a fucking like, that is no. Like, literally no, babe. I was like, okay, you guys are like literally fucking haters, and like, I want nothing to do with you. You're being like so fucking rude. Like, why can't you support his side hustles? And they're like, Livy, just like finance on the side is like not a thing. Now I look back and I'm like, Livy, why the fuck would finance on the side be a goddamn thing? Like, in what world? Those are just some really obvious red flags that I just fucking ran through. And I was like, peace. I look back, I'm like, bitch, are you stupid? Like, what was that?
I, a 30 female, helped my ex's 35 male new girlfriend, 19 female, end her pregnancy and have now taken her in. And I'm getting a lot of backlash from his community. First, I would like to say I have no jealousy or contempt for this girl, and she is a girl to me, a child. My ex did cheat on me with her, but she was not aware at that time. I extricated myself from the situation when she was made aware, with only a single message over Insta to her that cheaters don't change. If he did it to me, he'll do it to you. Let me know if you ever need to talk. I sent that message last September. This January, I received a message that said, I don't have anyone. He's the worst. Are you available? She came to me. She was pregnant. She stayed in the basement suite of my home, and 2 weeks later, I helped her to end the pregnancy and since encouraged her to start therapy. She is not on speaking terms with her family at all. We got along well enough that I wrote up a single tenancy and she'd be staying for $500 a month since. I am child-free, but I'm very strongly fond of her, in an oddly maternal way. I introduced her to my family. She's of a similar age to my youngest sister, and they get along well. Recently, I've helped her apply to colleges. The issue starts that recently, the ex found out she aborted the pregnancy. Apparently, she told one of my sister's friends, who is the sibling of my ex's closest friend. He has since been harassing me on all socials, calling me all the grotesque things you can think of, creating new socials to do this also. His mother called me to harass me for ending her grandchild because I'm a heartless woman who hates children, because I'm child-free. And that just because I want to be useless, child-free woman, doesn't mean I need to destroy my ex's line. It's affecting my work also because recently my amazing boss retired and was replaced by a sniveling asshole who is extremely conservative and has seen the social media posts and has brought it up to me on lunch breaks. I wouldn't be surprised if he attempts to let me go in a sideways way for it. If he tries to do that, that is 1000% a lawsuit I've also noticed a few of my friends have pulled away, thinking I'm helping her out of spite, and asking me why I got involved. I'm just tired. I'm not legally adept for my age, in all honesty, and I've been under a lot of stress and been struggling with my own mental health, and this is just a lot right now. I just need some advice going forward. How do I broach this topic with friends without saying much? How do I deal with my boss? HR is shit. I'm just lost and tired. And at the moment, I'm glad it's mostly directed at me because apparently he hasn't contacted her. And I'm worried about him contacting her since she's finally doing well.
Am I the astronaut for refusing to have a fully child-free wedding? So I recently proposed to my long-term girlfriend, and we are planning for a wedding in the summer of next year. Everything is still in its very early stages. My fiance has expressed that she wants a child-free wedding, which I am all down for, but I want to make one exception. My son, 15 male, I had him from a previous relationship, and we have evenly split custody of him. Or surely it wouldn't mean your own children get excluded, right? Until now, my fiance has gotten along great with him. We've had days out as a family, and she's gone to see his games. He plays ice hockey, and she's even taken him out on fun days, just the two of them. I brought up that I wanted to make an exception to the no kids rule for my son. She shot down the idea straight away and said that she didn't want anyone under 16 there, as she doesn't want to feel like she or anyone else has to babysit on her special day. I told her that no one would have to babysit him. He's 15, and she knows he's well-behaved and a generally quiet kid. She then changed her reasoning and asked why I wanted my old family and life on the day I was supposed to make a commitment to her and our new family. I told her while I will be making a commitment to her, my son will still very much be my son and my family. She then equated it to me wanting my ex at our wedding, which I do not want and never asked for. I told her that I don't care about the aesthetics of the wedding and that she can pick everything else, the food, the aesthetic, the music, the dress, but all I want is my family at the wedding, my parents, my sisters, and my son. That is my only ultimatum when it comes to our wedding. She started calling me controlling by giving me an ultimatum and said I had initially agreed to a child-free wedding and now I'm gaslighting her. I said we can have a mainly child-free wedding, but with this one exception, an expectation that guests can't even complain about being unfair since the only child is the son of the groom. She called me a dick and now is not talking to me. I really think that this is a reasonable request, but maybe I'm not seeing something. So am I the astronaut?
Today, I am going back to one of my least favorite places in the world, talking about high school. I was not the popular kid. Academics were not my thing. But you know, the reason why I'm going back is actually kind of cool. Got asked back for their advanced photography class to be a model for them and kind of help them, teach them how to talk to models, photograph them, pose, just help them in that area. When I first got asked, I was like, no, I don't want to go back there. Now I'm an adult. It's been about 4 years since I've graduated. My life has started. Many things have changed. I love that I once auditioned to be a model for the little runway show that the fashion class was having. I got rejected and then now I'm being asked back. Moral of the story, chase your dreams. Don't get me wrong. The school that I went to, it looks like a college. My graduating class, 800, 900 kids. I just had the hardest time finding my crowd because my gifts and talents, or what I at least considered my gifts and talents of singing, songwriting, all of that stuff with music, it just wasn't considered a talent, I guess, because AP classes were super heavily emphasized. I didn't go to some fancy 4-year university. I did the JC route. I don't know. High school just really wasn't my thing because I was just sick of feeling dumb. I was never in the advanced classes. I still did reading intervention. You know, but look at me now. I tell people all the time, I truly believe that my life started the day I graduated high school. The possibilities were endless. Honestly, I am really flattered that they asked me to come back. Just can't wait to tell these students to follow their dreams because high school, it's this much of your life. That's my little speech. Today is honestly, it's actually gonna be a really fun day. High school was never my favorite place, but I'm hoping today we can make it fun.
Guess who texted me last night? The guy that I've been on and off with since I was 12. Like, a lot of my friends I haven't even had for 5 years. And Anyways, for backstories, it's definitely needed with this guy. We met... Oh my god, there's stuff in my eyeball. Well, we met at, like, a summer camp play thing. I want to say when we were, like, 10. Like, this was a long time ago. And when we, like, first met. And then we continued to do these plays every summer. Because they're in his town and we don't live in the same town. And I'd always go there to do them. And I would always see him there every year. well, like, the last one that I did when we were, like, 12, it was, like, mutual attraction. Like, we liked each other during the week of this camp. I don't know. Anyways, neither one of us have phones after this, like, during this little camp thing. So, a couple years later, like, when we were, like, 14 or 15, he added me on Snapchat. And I was like, oh, hey. And then we talked for, like, a while. But, like, nothing really happened. It fizzled out. Then a couple months later, over the summer, this was last summer, he wants to talk again. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever. Like, he's cute, he's tall, he's fucking 6'3". Lives on a farm, like, you know. Like, okay. We talk again, and for a couple months, literally don't hang out that entire time. I literally tell my mom, I'm like, any day, like I literally asked him to hang out too. Like, I was so ballsy, and he's like, found out it was because he had another girlfriend at the time. And the way I found out is really funny because, so, my friend was on his private story, like, that he thought, like, nobody I knew was on, and, he posted a Happy National Girlfriend Day to this girl as he was, like, talking to me. And my friend screenshotted it so fast and sent it over to me. So I texted him. I'm like, hello. And then he just, like, ghosted me. Anyway, so basically I got a boyfriend after that. Didn't really think about this kid. Also, I'm going to refer to him as Beaver Boy because, like, a long time ago, like, when we were, like, 16, 15, he would always say damn, but he spelled it wrong. He spelled it D-A-M. But when he was, like, saying, like, damn, like, damn it. Anyways, after me and my boyfriend broke up, he must have heard because he texted me, and he was just like, oh, did you and, like, so-and-so break up? And I was like, yeah. And then he sent me fucking paragraph. I'm not even kidding. I had to scroll, like, multiple times to read the whole thing. It was so long. And it was, please stop. And it was like, I'm so sorry for the way I treated you and what I did last summer. Like, I had no right. And I was like, what are you talking about? Anyways, I fucking fell for it. Started talking to him again. You know, fresh out that relationship, which was not a good idea. But he wanted to hang out. There's a plus. So we finally make a plan to hang out after, like, a month of me, like, pushing for this, right? And he says, oh, let's go walk the pier in my town. Mind you, I have a broken leg. Like, I'm fresh out the cast, but I have a walking boot on. So I'm like, okay, I think that's fine. So I drive to his town, and we go on our little walk. And it's, like, going really good. Like, we're talking, and it's, like, really good, you know. So we get to the end of the date, if it's a date, it really wasn't. We get to the end of our little situation hangout thing, and I'm like, oh, he's for sure gonna kiss me, because we're, like, getting ready to leave, like, you know. He comes over to my car. Like, I'm standing there, he's standing there. He comes over, puts his hand up. I'm thinking he's gonna, like, lean against the side of the car. Like, I have no idea what's going on at this point. He says, high five for the road. I really, really wish that somebody could have been there to take a picture of my face, because I know I was so dumbfounded by that. Like, what? Needless to say, we didn't really hang out again after that. We kind of just fell off, which was good, because I was like, you know, like, this is never working. Ever, clearly. We fell off. He texted me a couple weeks, probably like 2 months ago. Hey, do you like school dances? I was like, fuck yeah, like, who doesn't? Well, would you want to go to my homecoming? It's in November. And I'm like, maybe. Like, what? So we start talking again then. This is like the beginning of September, mind you. Like, this is a while ago. And we're talking, everything's fine, and all of a sudden he just starts like ghosting me, like out of nowhere, like stops talking to me, like, and he is talking to me, it's just like there's no effort put in at all. And I'm so, like, I'm not one to stay around if there's no effort, you know? And so I just like stopped answering him. And he texted me last night, and or the night before, and we had a whole conversation about it. He thought I wasn't putting in effort. Maybe I'm just matching the vibes, like. Anyways, he wants to come see the puppies, so I guess we'll see how that plays out. Yes, I was talking about you. But I don't know, it always goes so bad. And then we were like talking about our lack of communication. And I was like, your lack of communication. Like, I'm an amazing communicator. You're not, babe. Anyways, thank you guys for 10K. I'm so thankful. I love you guys.